Hey everyone, I'm Gwen and welcome to At Home with Gigi. Thank you so much for dropping by. I'm so excited to share with you these Halloween DIYs, so let's just fly right on in. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a teaser of what's to come, and I hope you stick around to the end and see how I put it all together and make a little Halloween vignette. We are going to start by making a crystal ball. I got this idea off of Pinterest, and I will make sure to list that down below. But I'm just going to use a variety of glitters that I already had on hand, and this is just kind of a chunky white glitter. As you can see, it wasn't much left in there, so I just used up that. And the other three that I'm going to use is more of a fine type of glitter. And I'm just using some more white, and I'm also going to add in some silver and this really pretty blue glitter, but you could really use any color glitters that you have. And just swirl it around, mix it up just a little bit there in the bottom. And I've taken probably 20, 30, maybe even more cotton balls. And as you can see, I'm shredding them up a little bit more, but you just want to pull them apart and kind of shred them up kind of fine. You want it to look kind of cobwebby, meshy inside. And just pack them in there really good. Now I'm just adding a little more glitter on top. You can never have too much glitter in a crystal ball. For the liquid in the crystal ball, I'm going to be using 3 different colors of food dye. I only had the gel on hand, but I would recommend, if you're buying this, to just get the regular food dye, because it took a minute to get this stuff to dissolve, and some of it still was a little bit of clumps in the bottom. And I'm just going to be using blue, purple, and I wanted pink to mix in with it, but I didn't have any pink on hand, so again I just improvised. I used red food coloring, and I accidentally used a little too much. I even went back and poured some of it out and added a little more water to it to try and make it a lighter color pink, but it still looked red. But anyway, as you'll see at the end, I think the color turned out really, really pretty. But as you can see, I'm stirring pretty vigorously, and it still has some clumps down there in the bottom. And I'm just going to rotate out, pouring the colors in and just kind of layering it in and just swirling them in together. It really does come out really, really pretty. I wish I had gone a little bit lighter in my colors, but I followed the advice of the young lady in the post, and she said go a little bit darker in your colors because the cotton balls would lighten it up, but it seemed to have a different effect on mine, or maybe I just made my dye too dark. But yes, you'll see in the end, it still came out so, so pretty. You're going to want to fill your globe pretty much all the way to the top to make sure you have enough liquid in there. And see how pretty that cotton looks in there? Then I just added some more glitter on top. You can never have too much glitter in a snow globe. And then I'm just using that skewer to just stir it around just a little bit. And here's where it gets messy. You're going to push this stopper in and just keep pushing. I do it slowly, as you can see on each side, push it down. And it's going to overflow and get really messy, but you need that amount of water in there to keep your globe with that full look of liquid and keep everything moving around. But just keep pressing down, and then after I got it pressed all the way in, I just dried it really well and let it sit. And then I'm just going back and I'm adding Gorilla Glue the gel Gorilla Glue around to the top of my lid, and then I'm just going to put that on there, and then I let that set and completely dry. And I just took my lid and spray painted it black. You can see a sneak peek there of what I'm going to use for the base of my crystal ball. And while I was giving the lid on my crystal ball time to set up, I just used one of these orange pumpkins from the Dollar Tree and just gave it 2 quick coats of Waverly chalk paint and ink. And after it completely dried, I'm just going to use these little sparkly strips from the Dollar Tree, and I cannot think of exactly what you call them, and I'm just going to go around the indentation of my pumpkin, and I'm going to also use these to cover up the seams on each side of the pumpkin and just give it a little bit of a glam look, a little sparkle. Now you can use hot glue to attach these if it's not sticky enough, because a couple of them did come up towards the bottom. But I just pressed it back down and just held it there for a few seconds, and it seemed to work really well. The crystal ball was too top heavy, so I just cut the center out of my pumpkin and added some of these green beads in there just to give it some weight on the bottom. And I'm just using hot glue to attach my crystal ball to the base. Just hold it in place for a few seconds and give it time to set up. Just don't press too hard. As you can see, I'm squishing the pumpkin down a little bit, and that is styrofoam. But I just love how this turned out. I think it is so pretty and so neat. This would be a fun project to do with your kids. Let each one of them do a different color. You can get pretty much everything from the Dollar Tree for this project. And also with the holidays right around the corner, you can make any type of snow globe, and they have all the supplies out right now. This would just be so much fun. I'm going to use these 3 blocks that came from the Dollar Tree. Actually, you get 4 of them in a pack. And I'm just giving them a quick coat of Waverly chalk paint and ink. And I'm going to make these to go on my little tiered tray that I'm making for my little vignette for Halloween. I just want to apologize for getting this video out so very late. My intention was to get it out about 3 weeks ago, but life has just gotten so crazy and so many things have just happened, and I have not even been able to keep up with my every Thursday schedule, and that's going to have to take some adjustment. But anyway, I hope that you guys will be patient with me while I get a new schedule figured out. I'm just going to attach these letters to the front of my blocks, and the letters came off of a witch hat that came from the Dollar Tree, and you'll see me use the witch hat in a little bit. And I just cut them down where they're not quite an exact fit, but they fit well enough, and I just thought they were so cute. And I just put down a layer of Mod Podge and then put another layer of Mod Podge on top, and boom. And these are, as you'll see in just a moment, they are just so cute on my tiered tray. And again, this is something that would be really simple and easy to do with your kids. And this is what it looks like on my tiered tray. Just simple but adorable. We're just going to make a potions bottle using this bottle from the Target Dollar Spot. Corn syrup, glitter, some food coloring. You're going to need a funnel for the corn syrup, and then just something to hold your water in. Like I said, that little cute bottle came from the Target Dollar Spot. And this would be something that would be so much fun to make with your kids. Just get a variety of bottles and food coloring and glitter, and it would just be so much fun. Now I'm just adding the glitter in on top of the corn syrup. And again, you can just use any colored glitter, food color that you want. And just go to town and just have so much fun with this. I'm just going to use the bamboo skewer and just stir that glitter around in the corn syrup really well, or as well as you can, because it's kind of sticky and thick in there. On hindsight, I would probably add more of the corn syrup and less of the water, because it would really make, if you had a thicker layer of the corn syrup, it would make that water just really stay on top. But I kind of diluted it a little too much. I love how it came out. It came out so pretty. Not really scary looking, but it came out really pretty. You'll see in a moment. I ended up only using the blue food coloring because I just liked the way the color turned out. I thought that blue was so pretty. I would probably, in hindsight, would stop right there with the water instead of putting more, because it just really did dilute the corn syrup too much, but it still turned out really pretty. And just stick your bamboo skewer in there and stir it up some more. Mix that glitter all around. My original intention had been for it to settle and to have a really distinctive layer between the corn syrup and the water, but it didn't, not really. Just press that stopper back in there really well, and if you got little ones, it might be a good idea to just wipe the inside of the neck of the bottle really well and add some glue in there to keep it in place. But I think it turned out really pretty. Not really scary, but that's okay. It just turned out really glittery and pretty. And again, such a perfect project to do with your kids using any color food dye, any color glitter, any type of bottle that you might have on hand. It would just be so much fun. Okay, for this project, we are going to make a witch's hat. And everything that I am using came from the Dollar Tree except for the ribbon, and that came from Amazon. And you can't beat the prices from Dollar Tree, but I will tell you that not all deco mesh from the Dollar Tree is created equal. And guys, this purple and black stuff, it was rough working with this because it was in terrible quality, and I've gotten some wonderful quality deco mesh, but this was not very good. But let me know at the end what you think, if I was able to make it work. But we're just going to start with removing all this tinsel off of the hat, and it takes a little minute and it's a little bit messy, but just take your time and it'll come off. But last year I started making the Santa hats and the elf hats, and I made about 5 of them last year, and I just fell in love with using this little form. And this year I have stocked up on them because I am going to do that again during the holidays. And I'm just going to use my wire cutters, and I'm just going to go around and clip off those little tabs that stick out along the edge of the hat. To me, it doesn't snag your deco mesh, or what I'm going to be using is more like a fine mesh or a tulle. I think I'm saying that right, type material. And you'll see in just a moment whenever I start to attach it to my hat. And I'm just going to use a zip tie and attach it to the very tip of the hat up there. Just be careful when you're tightening it that you don't break the tip of your hat, because I have done that before by over tightening them. You can also use pipe cleaners. And y'all, this is some of the glitteriest mesh that I have ever used. Oh my goodness, it made such a huge mess. And I'm just kind of gathering it up in my hand because it is really thin. And I'm just going to, you'll see I overlap it a good bit as I go down. And I also use 3 rolls of this stuff. There's not a lot on it, so that's not saying a whole lot. But if you want to make sure that that black plastic is not going to show through, I would just kind of bunch it up as you see that I'm doing in my hand, and just keep wrapping it around. And I'm just showing you all the fallout. It is just crazy. I had purple glitter everywhere in the house. I'm just tucking that tail, that extra piece in up under the hat, and then just keep wrapping it around there. Then I'm just using another zip tie to just attach it right there at the bottom of the hat. I ended up using 3 rolls of the black deco mesh and 3 rolls of the purple deco mesh, and I'm just cutting it to about 8 inches each. And like I said, sometimes you can get really good deco mesh from the Dollar Tree, but this was not very good. And I didn't realize until it was too late and I was already into making the project. So I just did my best to make it work. And actually, I take it back. This black and white ribbon came from Walmart this year, but the rest of my ribbon came from Amazon, and I will link that down below. I'll see if I can find some similar to this black and white and link that as well. But I'm just cutting 5 strips of each color in 8-inch strips. And I should have done this ahead of time, but didn't think about it. But I'm just dovetailing each end of my little strips of ribbon. Then I'm just going to take a black piece of deco mesh and just kind of bunch it up in the middle, and then take another piece of the purple and do the same, just bunch it up and overlap it. And then I'm going to attach my ribbon on top of that, and I'm just going to use a purple pipe cleaner, and I've just cut them in half so they wouldn't be so long. I made 25 bundles total of the deco mesh and ribbon, and then I made an additional 10 bundles and I rotated out. I would do 2 purple and a black, 2 black and a purple, just to have a little bit more variety. And then I just start right there on the very inside edge of that hat and just attach the deco mesh, and I just twist it around 2 or 3 times just to get it really good and snug. And I like to clip off those little tails on my pipe cleaner. It just gives it a nice cleaner finish on the back. If anybody was to see the back of your wreath, if you sell them or you're going to give them away. Because like I said, last year I made 5 of them. And they are fun to make. The longest part is just cutting all the ribbon and deco mesh and putting it together, but actually putting the wreath together, it takes no time at all. And I don't know why my camera keeps making the purple look almost blue, but this was really purpley purple deco mesh. But oh well. Sometimes the better deal is to go to Hobby Lobby, because if you go, I believe it's like every other week, they'll have their deco mesh 50% off. And y'all, I'm not bashing Dollar Tree. Y'all know I love me some Dollar Tree, but sometimes it is just better to go on to Hobby Lobby, because I know my Walmart doesn't carry deco mesh anymore. It'll save you a little bit of headache, especially if you're going to give it away or sell it, because some of this at the bottom looked pretty rough. And I just keep flipping it back and forth to see kind of what color I want to put next, or if I want one with ribbon, or if I want just the deco mesh. And I did have several pieces left over. I didn't use all of them. I think I had about 8 or 9 pieces left over. And I'm just going in and I'm just tugging and straightening out all my ribbon and pulling it into place. Some of the ends was a little bit long, or maybe was a little rough, so I just trimmed them up and, just go in and make it look pretty. And just keep, the secret to a great wreath is just to keep fluffing and arranging it until you get it just how you want it. I'm just going to make a really quick bow on my Easy Bow Maker, and this ribbon, this camera does not do it justice. I know it looks like a light purple, but it really is a deep, dark purple. It is so, so pretty. This came from Amazon as well. And I will list everything and link everything down below that I've used. But oh my goodness, y'all, this ribbon was just so pretty. The loops on my bow is about 4.5 inches, I believe. I don't use a lot of vibrant oranges and purples and things like that. But with this one for Halloween, I just like, you know what, I am going to go for it, step out of my comfort zone just a little bit and just go for it. But looking back now, I wish that I had added a solid color ribbon in with all these different patterns and colors and things, but you know what? I love it, so I think that's all that matters, and it's going to be mine, not for somebody else, so I'm just going to enjoy it. but I'm just going to pull it up, and I'm just going to use another pipe cleaner and just tie it off right there in the center. And I love my Easy Bow Maker. My bow making skills are still not where I want them to be, but it has helped, and because I have issues with my fingers, and it really does help whenever you're putting them down there, it holds them in place. I'm just making a quick little bow with this black and white ribbon, and just going to attach it to the top of my hat. I'm just adding this little purple ball right there in the center of my bow just to hide that pipe cleaner. And this way it looks like all finished. I am really loving all these bright, vibrant colors. I really did go outside my comfort zone with these colors because I usually do not decorate for Halloween or anything like that. I usually just do fall and then go straight into Christmas. But I am just loving this hat. And let me know what you think about my little Halloween vignette. I usually don't do anything like this, and I kind of got a little bit carried away at the Dollar Tree, picking up all these little items and seeing how I could make them work. A couple of these things did come from the Target dollar spot, and I just had so much fun putting it together, and I couldn't find any spider webs near my home, so I just took some batting that goes inside of pillows and just pulled it all apart and just kind of made that into my spider webs. But I just had so much fun doing this. It just was kind of a stress reliever from the last few weeks. It's just been so stressful. Let me know what you do to relieve stress. I love to craft, and this just makes my heart feel so good. And like I said, I might have gone just a teensy bit over the top, but I was like a kid in a candy store. I just had so much fun just finding ways to put this stuff together. Thank you so much. If you are still here, drop a little jack-o'-lantern or pumpkin emoji down in the comments and let me know that you're still here and what you thought about just pulling all this together and just using Dollar Tree things and stuff I had around the house and just putting it together to make this little crazy vignette. But it's crazy, but it's Halloween and it's just so cute, I think. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!